What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, we got to talk a little bit about Sega's future, a couple major titles that I've talked about on this channel, and I'm just very, very interested in. Two of them we have to talk about, and then we have, of course, Persona 6 that's kind of MIA. So, they post and they talk a lot about their financials today. They talk about their future. Metaphor did really well. Sonic Cross Shadows did very well. That game actually outsold Metaphor, which is interesting. But we see here their future pipeline, right? Games that are coming. So we know Sonic Racing Crossworlds, right? That's the big one. And then you see, FY 2027 and then 2028. 4 mainstay titles and more. It's basically like the exact same plan. They plan to release several new titles of major IPs and then new titles of European and legacy IPs, right? But you see at the bottom there, Persona 4 Revival and Stranger Than Heaven are both going to be released in or after the financial year of 2027, which, that doesn't actually mean the year 2027. It could, but it literally means after April of 2026, okay? That's what it means. Now, there's a couple things to talk about. There's 2 games there, and then, like I said, there's Persona 6. Number 1, this actually makes a lot more sense why they barely showed anything on Persona 4. I don't know, and this brings up Persona 6, the rumors of Persona in particular, I don't know what's going on. I don't know how delayed they've been. The rumors seem pretty inaccurate. Even from some of the best insiders that we have on the face of the earth, I don't know what's going on because it felt like Persona 4 was going to come out far earlier than this. So, again, it can't come out until April, I guess maybe even the end of April, so maybe May of 2026. And I don't even see that happening. I mean, I see a lot of people kind of saying maybe it does what Persona 3 did and releases the following year in February. And I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. Again, you look at what we saw, and I'm not saying that's literally all they have, but I feel like it's like a theme. You know what I mean? If it was closer, I feel like we would have gotten more stuff that that they didn't show at the Xbox thing. So I am inclined to believe that Persona 4 specifically is late next year, if not early 2027. Maybe 2 years from now, we have it. And maybe that's a safe prediction. Okay, that's that. We'll come back to Persona for 6, but I want to talk about Stranger Than Heaven. This game looks like it's going to freaking rock. I can't freaking wait for it. I mean, I'm a huge Persona fan, and 4 Golden is what got me into the franchise, so I'm excited for that. But Stranger Than Heaven, let's freaking go. But, that game, I will say, I have different expectations for, because they show that game off, and I think they showed it off at the Game Awards, and the way Jeff Keighley talked about it sounded like it was further away. And yet we know, RGG makes games at 10 times the speed of any other developer, right? A game could be years away for some, and then RGG puts it out tomorrow. It's just, they're so freaking fast. So Stranger Than Heaven, I never really expected it anytime soon. I honestly feel like they might slide in Yakuza 3 as a remaster before A Stranger Than Heaven. Maybe even a full-on Yakuza title before Stranger Than Heaven. But this one's not surprising. If this one were to be sometime also in 2027, basically, I don't really have a lot of confidence either of those games will come out next year. And if I did have confidence, it would actually be more Persona than Stranger Than Heaven. But, for me, that's not that big of a deal. I think still the speed at which we saw Stranger Than Heaven, which was actually a different title and they changed it, and then, to when it actually comes out, pretty darn short, all things considered. The big thing, of course, is, no Persona 6. Now, I don't expect them to drop a visual. So, granted, I guess, right? They're not going to drop a visual on this slide. So it's I guess, what was I expecting? But I guess, looking at those two and then thinking, their strategy. I'm trying to think their strategy, right? So they show 4, and 4 doesn't seem as far along as I thought it was, visually, and then also in this chart. You know what I mean? It's just not nearly as close as I thought. So what the heck does that mean for Persona 6? We have been told through insiders. Now, maybe they were just wrong. Maybe they thought they were hearing about 6 and it was actually 4. I don't know. Maybe they got their titles mixed up. But, I don't see, number one, how Persona 6 even comes out next year. And maybe it does, but, maybe it's one of those 4, which are those 2 top ones, right? 4 titles or more. You could slide it in. And, I mean, it would be bigger than I think both of those games, to be honest with you. But, I'm just kind of basing it off of Persona 4 and saying, all right, well, what's the strategy? And I would love, if I had a genie or I was granted a wish or I was able to ask a question to a person in power, I would say, okay, which one's first? That would be one of the key questions, right? Do you get Persona 4 first or do do you get 6 first? Because if it's 4 first, then 6 I don't think comes out until late 27, if not even later. And I mean, you're talking about, by the way, a cross-gen console game, and it's like, holy God, who would have thought that? I guess I wouldn't have. Maybe I shouldn't be that surprised though with things like that. So that's kind of what I want to talk about. Amazing games coming. Okay, I'm excited for all 3. Let's not get that twisted. I'm gonna play all 3 day one. I'm stoked, but it's just for 2 of the 3. They're releasing much later than I thought they would. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. And I hope to see you all on the next one.